So we've had the weigh-in for Chris Eubank Jr. versus James Degale. Both guys came in under the 168-pound limit. Now, I'm going to talk you through kind of my thoughts on the weigh-in. Going to talk you through what I think is going to happen in the fight, and I'm going to give you my final pick for this fight. So let's talk about this. So both guys, as I said, came in under the 12-stone limit. I believe Eubank Jr. was 167 and James Degale was 166. Now, both guys looked in tremendous shape. We know Eubank Jr. makes 168 reasonably comfortably. He's not the biggest super middleweight out there. He's more middleweight. James Degale, he's been fighting at super middleweight pretty much the majority, but essentially his whole career really, he's making that weight limit. So Degale, he looked a little bit more drained, I think, than Eubank Jr. was to be expected, of course. But he looked in tremendous shape. James Degale, from, an athletic point of view, I don't want to say athletic, but just from his body image point of view, he looks in great shape. He looks amazing. But from an athletic point of view, is he amazing? Is he going to be able to turn back the clock, back to 2013, 2014, and be that slick James Degale boxer? I don't know. I seriously doubt it. So I'm going to kind of talk through my kind of idea as to what this fight is going to take place or how this fight might take place. Now, James Degale, whether you talk about a prime James Degale or James Degale now, he's always been a fast starter. If you see him against Badu Jack, he had Badu Jack on the floor in the first round in that fight. He had, was it Andre or Anthony Durrell? It was one of the Durrell twins, I can't remember which one. He had them down in their fight. James Degale, for the first kind of 4 to 5 rounds, he can look pretty spectacular. He can look incredible. He can even be a little bit explosive too. But with Degale, his stamina tends to fade quite rapidly. Now, he's not blowing or gassing, but he can definitely not keep up the same pace and the same kind of level that he would be in the first 4 rounds, say the last 4 rounds. So, going into this fight, I actually expect the first 4 rounds to be reasonably straightforward for James Degale to win. I'm not saying I think Eubank Jr. is going to freeze. I think Eubank Jr. will come out, boxing his normal fight, but I think he'll have issues with James Degale's movement for the first kind of 4 to 5 rounds of the fight. Once James Degale starts to slow down, which I think will happen, I think that Eubank Jr. will kind of start to find a bit more success. And at the end of the day, as I've said many times, we're not dealing with a prime James Degale. We're dealing with a James Degale who's coming near the end of his career. So, whereas Eubank Jr., he might not be the best at coming forward, he might not be the best pressure fighter, I don't necessarily think he'll need to be in order to find some success against James Degale. As I said, if this was the James Degale a few years ago, even if he faded a bit, he'd probably still have the skills, or he'd probably be able to find something in reserve to be able to stay out of the way of Eubank or to nullify his pressure. But this James Degale, I don't think he's going to be able to do that. I think that Eubank Jr. will start to kind of find his range and get into kind of his own rhythm, if you know what I mean, in this fight. Now, I've said this before, stylistically, James Degale is not a fighter that Eubank Jr. would want to fight. He loves these fighters like your Spike O'Sullivans, like your Arthur Abrahams, who just have the high guard, square up and come forward trying to pressure him, because he can look spectacular. He can get them uppercuts going, he can get them hooks going, and he can just look like a world-class fighter. When he has to go looking for you, when you're boxing him and you're keeping him at the end of a jab, really he doesn't tend to look the greatest. He definitely doesn't have a good front foot game. One of Chris Eubank Jr.'s sparring partners, I forget the guy's name, can't remember, his name slips my mind, but they was his chief sparring partner, and he was saying that just using veteran tactics, veteran tricks, he was able to just give Eubank Jr. a hard time in sparring from a technical point of view. Now, that's a worry when you hear that, because although, as I've said many times, James Degale is not the fighter he once was, he's been around that long that I'm sure he knows some tricks. And could he not implement them kind of tricks, little veteran tricks that you pick up as you go along? Would that kind of upset Chris Eubank Jr.'s rhythm? How is this new trainer for Chris Eubank? How is he going to fare? Is he going to be, good for Eubank Jr. or is he going to be a detriment? How is Eubank Jr. going to go in terms of his mindset? Is he going to start swinging again? Is he going to try and have a bit more control on it? It's really all the unknowns that I'm looking forward to in this fight. Now, what do I think will happen? I think that Degale will build up a lead. in the first half of the fight. But as he slows down, and I think the more confidence Eubank Jr. gets from seeing that, I think Eubank Jr. will come on a little bit stronger, will be, trying to front for pressure a bit more, but I think he'll be a bit more effective with it. I think that he will be able to throw the shots a little bit straighter than he normally does, and I think his footwork may be slightly improved, because his trainer did say his footwork is terrible. So if you know that your footwork is terrible, you're obviously going to try and improve it, I would hope. So I think for the first half of this fight, I can see it being a James Degale fight, and for the second half, I can see it being a Eubank Jr. fight, because Eubank Jr. has great stamina. Now, my pick for this fight is, and I'm sticking with this, and I've said it throughout, I'm going to go with Chris Eubank Jr. to win this fight on points. Do I think James Degale doesn't have a shot? Definitely not. James Degale could definitely win this fight. Do I think we could see some close scorecards? Yes, I do. But I think that Chris Eubank Jr. will just be able to find a way to win. I think that just by hook or by crook, Eubank Jr. himself knows that this really is sink or swim, and I think by hook or by crook, he'll find a way to win, and he'll pull out a decision. Might not be unanimous, might be split, but I think Eubank Jr. will win this fight. James Degale, there's always the possibility he could win it, but at this stage in his career, I just don't see it. So I'm going to go with Eubank Jr. to win this fight on points. If I'm right, I'm right. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. So be it. That's my prediction on this fight. Leave your thoughts down below. Let me know what you think is going to happen in this fight. Let me know who you're going with. Let me know who you're picking. Okay? As always, please leave a thumbs up, like, share the video, all that. That was my thoughts on this fight. Leave yours down below. Look forward to this fight tomorrow night, and I'll talk to you after.